Evening to you. Christelle Bell here with the Let ABC15 Know team. We are here for our phone bank tonight. Our phone lines opened at 5 o'clock 6 minutes ago. Giving you that number, it's 855-522-1515. And as you can see, we've got several volunteers from the State Bar of Arizona with us tonight. They're answering your phone calls, talking about consumer law, and that's a wide range of topics. So you can have all of your questions answered tonight for free from 5 to 7 o'clock. The lines will close at 7 tonight, but they have been busy already. The phone started ringing at 5:00, and they have been nonstop. So if you can't get through, I encourage you to just keep calling until you are able to reach someone on the phone line. But again, that number is 855-522-1515. We've got, like I said, a number of volunteers, and we're always grateful for the State Bar of Arizona to partner with us to bring this service to you to get the legal help that you need. And we're grateful for our volunteers that are always able to come out and volunteer their time to answer your questions. Speaking of grateful for our volunteers, I want to bring in Tracy tonight. Tracy, you've been with us and helped us several times in our phone bank.
Years, yes.
And we thank you so much. We're so grateful for you. Let's talk a little bit about some things that you've been seeing. You do a number of services. You practice in several fields of law. We were talking before we started rolling tonight about contracts.
Yes.
That's a number one issue that we see with Let ABC 15 Know team with people having issues with contracts. What would you say, what would be the best advice to give to someone, making sure they read over the fine print, making sure they understand what's in the contract?
Absolutely. It's important that people actually read the contract. People generally just cursory look at it. Don't read it. Make sure every term that you've got is in there that you agreed to. A lot of times the salesperson or the other person may say to you, don't worry about it. This is what's going to happen. This is the protections. You want this, this, and that. It's in there. Don't worry about it. Don't read it. Make sure you read it. Make sure what they're saying is in there is actually in there. If it's not in there, say to them, hey, look, you told me it's A, B, C, and D. I don't see that in the contract. So please put it in there. If they say, no, don't worry about it, ask again. If they won't do that, that's telling you something right there. Walk away from that. That's not a contract you want to be in because you're going to be held to what's the written word, not what they said. And again, if they're not willing to put it in there, that's telling you it's not in there. So that's a protection to be sure of.
And it's so easy because sometimes you just put your initials by those things and you kind of keep going. It's important just to take that moment to step back, look over it, glance, and ask questions.
Absolutely. If you don't understand it, then ask. Making sure that they are clear about what's going on. Make sure you fully understand it. Because if the person doesn't understand it, what they're signing, they're going to be bound to it. And so there's nothing that you can do once you've signed it other than have to deal with it in court. And that's not something you want to deal with. Prevent the problem initially. Don't wait for it to become a problem.
Yeah, and then the other thing we also kind of see a lot of too is people dealing with issues of real estate, also estate. Issues with estate planning and things like that sort. Kind of talk a little bit about some of the other things that you've seen as far as working with the consumer legal services.
When I see the consumers, and by the way, one of the other areas I'd throw into that is the sun screens and the sun protection for electricity generation. Even though you may be dealing with an area that, quote, seems to be difficult, estate planning, it's not. It's the same basic thing that we've already been saying. If you don't understand it, don't sign it. Make sure they can explain to you and make sure what you're reading actually says what they're saying and what you're agreeing to. If it's not, and that doesn't make a difference whether it's estate planning, whether it's trusts, whether it's business formation, anything. If you're purchasing something, you're getting a credit card, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of time writing these little contracts with very small print, difficult language, and there's a reason why, because they know what they're doing, and they know they're trying to enforce it. Protect yourself.
Yeah. What else can we talk about? Because there are some other things too. When you're signing up for real estate, talking about, when is a good time if there's a property defect? When should a consumer get a lawyer involved? Can you answer that?
Yes, you always get, and in a lot of areas, by the way, that's a hard question. But when you're starting the problem, and you can see it coming down. I'm a big believer in saying trust your gut. If your gut says, A, don't sign something and don't enter into something, or B, we need to get somebody else involved to try and tell us what's going on or answer our questions, then do it. Trust your gut. It's simple, yes, but it is very, very true. And, people tend to defer. They go, I don't know this. This is above me. I can't understand it. That's not true.
Yeah.
Anybody and everybody can understand what's going on. Anybody and everybody knows when something doesn't either feel right or smell right.
Yeah. I always say if you trust your gut now, then it'll save you a lot of headaches down the road.
I like that.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Tracy, so much
you
for
very
being
much.
with us. Again, we're here tonight until 7 o'clock. The lines are still open. We're still taking phone calls. 855-522-1515. You can call whatever questions you may have. This is the opportunity. We've got a team of volunteers who are waiting to take your phone calls and ready to answer your questions for free. All right. One time, 855-522-1515. I'm Christelle Bell with the Let ABC15 Know team, here to help.
When Joe was here, Joe used to call me, send me emails if you had questions, or if you wanted me to look at something, and I would give